championship series. It's the best of the best championship, sparring championship post show with Jalen Lazenby, the son of the promoter who ended up being the best of the best. So Jalen, how are you doing today?
Good. How are you?
Good. Excited to have you on. Okay, clearly the picture shows belt, money in hand, and huge smile. So tell me how the tournament went for you.
It was a good event. Didn't compete at all in the daytime at all. So it was just basically the night show.
Mm-hmm.
So it was an eight man basically tournament, I guess. So it was me, Justice Floyd, uh, Malik Green, Samuel. Not sure what his last name is, and we had Anthony. Forgot his last name too. We had one more fighter too. I forgot his name, but there were 8 of us. Two couldn't compete because of injury. I guess that one of them got injury throughout the daytime.
Mm-hmm.
Then one of them couldn't compete because of injury in the last tournament. So it kind of was a little less fighters. I remember the other fighter now. It was Joseph Brackett.
Okay.
So I ended up fighting Joseph Brackett for my first fight. Then I fought Justice Floyd for the money fight. So yeah.
How did that fight go? I didn't get to catch the stream, but both of you guys are very talented fighters.
So it was a 2-minute round. So first round, I believe the score going into the second round was 3-4. I believe I was up. I believe up by 1 going into the second round. Then at the end of the second round, it was 11-7. So I ended up coming out of it.
Awesome. Great. Something that your dad really wanted to do with this sort of set fight situation was highlight really talented, I don't want to say up and coming, but just like younger guys in there. What was that kind of like to be surrounded by that and also be a part of that sort of mission that he was trying to put together?
I think it was really exciting. It's just kind of the eyes were on the young guys, you know.
Yeah,
So
yeah.
I'm kind of getting used to that. All the eyes being on us, getting used to being on the night shows or getting to the nighttime final. So just trying to get used to that environment.
Of course, right? And it's crazy just how generations so quickly step up from the youngers and then they're now in the adult division and soon they just become really those main figures that those little guys look up to. So speaking of little guys, I'm sure you had students and people there that you were coaching. How did it go for the rest of the people, the competitors?
So I had a lot of my kids. I had 14 of my students compete this weekend. I had some of my students compete into the night show too. So it wasn't just the 8-man show. So it was a bunch of set fights. So there's about maybe 20 fights.
Wow.
There were team fights. There were individual set fights. But yeah, we had a couple of my students take first place and compete in the night show that night too. So that was pretty awesome.
You weren't competing during the daytime, as you mentioned. Does that mean that you were helping out? Were you coaching, judging?
Kind of doing a little bit of everything: coaching, judging. Yeah, kind of running around the entire tournament, the entire day. So yeah.
You might be a little biased, given that you're the son of the promoter, and obviously. But tell me just how the event ran upon reflection.
I would say it ran really well. I thought it was a really good turnout. It was a lot of kids, a lot of fighting. All the rings were running on time. It wasn't a lot of waiting. And the divisions were running really fast. So even though there was double eliminations, the rings were running pretty quick. But I thought it was a really good turnout, and the tournament ran really smooth.
Double eliminations really speaks to kind of the focus of getting rounds in. What's your preference in terms of competition? Do you like double elimination or no? And what are the pros and cons of each kind as a fighter?
Me personally, I do not like double elimination.
Okay.
But it does have the pros. Pros, I would say, you obviously have more opportunity to fight. You get out there. Sometimes you need one fight to, I guess I like to call it, get your jitters out. I guess like to get warmed up, get that first fight under your belt, so you can get warmed up and get hopefully you can get to first place for that first and second fight throughout the day. It gives you a chance to get warmed up. But cons, I know. I don't know. I'm just like, once I beat that person, I'm like, oh, not on to the next person. I don't have to see them again because, like, you
Mhm.
may beat them and you may have to come back and fight them later on in that division again. So I'd rather just get them out of there.
Yeah, sometimes it's just a little bit simpler too mentally to just go through the bracket and then you're at first place for that final round. Okay, so 20 fights during the night show. That's a lot, and I think in a typical night show, depending on who you are and why you're there, you might be having to wait till the last division to watch your favorite open weight men's. What was the vibe like at that night show? Having just 20 fights, rich in fighting.
I don't know. It's very exciting. Like even with the kids fights. So there were a couple kids fights, then there were the adult fights, then a couple more kids fights, then the adult fights. So I don't know. I say it was really exciting. I don't know. It was a different vibe. I would say, different than your normal typical night show that you go to at I guess like a NASCAR tournament.
Hmm.
I don't know. It just seems like a lot of cheering, people screaming out two, 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 or trying to call points. So it was very exciting.
Cool, especially with those younger guys. I mean, their parents, teammates, they especially that like teenager, maybe not the really young guys, or sometimes the really young guys, but like
Yeah.
that 15 to like 17 age group, it really gets intense. So that's fun to watch. So
And,
you had 14 students. Let's talk a little bit more now just about you and your training throughout this whole entire year. How's the season been looking for you?
so I think I competed at maybe a five, six, maybe five national events this year. Uh, I know. So it's been a pretty long season. A lot of training. So still already training, getting ready for the next season. So I would say training every day, twice a day, sometimes. So already getting ready for next season. So yeah.
Well, I mean, obviously, clearly it's in your blood, it's in your family tree, it's in your roots. Um, how did you get involved though in martial arts? Was it something that was a given, or did you sort of have a choice?
We didn't have a choice. So all my siblings have their black belts. We didn't have
Cool.
a choice to do karate. Uh, but yeah, so yeah, I've been doing karate for 20 years now. So I've been
Wow.
competing for almost, I would say, maybe like 18 years. So I've been competing for a long time, and I didn't think I would still be doing it, but I know I love it now. So it's all I think about, something I do every day. So
20 years, when you think about 2 decades, that's a long time when you put it into perspective, and a whole lifetime to go. Is that the plan, to do it for the rest of your life
yeah, I would say yeah.
in some capacity, or are you in school right now? Like,
Um,
just get a more of a picture of who Jalen is.
no, ma'am. So I'm not in school right now. I am
Mhm.
currently, so if you guys don't know, I'm in Atlanta, Georgia. I teach at a school called the Dojo in Cumming, Georgia. So yeah, I've been
Is that
Josh Horridge is
yeah,
this, yeah,
Josh's school? He has a couple schools in this
yes, ma'am.
area, right?
In the Cumming,
Cool.
yes, ma'am. He does. So yeah, I've been up here for almost 3 years now teaching. So yeah, so that's something that I planning on to keep on doing, teaching. Hopefully to get my own school someday. So yeah.
Yeah, that would be awesome, and just add to the sort of rich martial arts landscape of the
Yeah.
area, because I feel like there's Florida just gets is always a talker about how good the fighters are down there, and there are so many tournaments down there.
There.
But Atlanta and Georgia as well have really awesome fighters. What's your experience been just growing up in that area as a fighter?
As a fighter, yeah. I don't know. There's been a lot of fighters come and go in Georgia, like to Georgia. But definitely, yeah. Right now, Florida is I would say the big to our sport, especially on the fighting side. Feels like a lot of people that were in Georgia went to Florida. So,
It does feel like that.
or or everybody's in Florida now. So,
But you're holding down the fort here, teaching the next generation.
yeah, yeah, of course, yeah. But yeah, but Georgia, still have a lot of people here too. So still a lot of fighters here that still compete or still travel on the circuit too. So yeah.
Of course. And you said you're already training for the next one. Is the next one this month or next year?
Next year, probably. My next event will probably be AKA. So either
AKA.
AKA or NGO. I'm not sure yet, but probably either one of those two tournaments.
Great, great. And what does that? It doesn't feel. When I was competing, it felt like the off season was longer, but it's only like a month and a half, really.
Yeah, it goes by really fast. It seems like you don't really get to like take some time off or
No.
catch your breath. Like it seems like you got to get right back to it to get ready for the next year or that next event. So
Right? It's only like half a month, I would say, that you get extra.
yeah, it seems like it's right around the corner. It's not too far away. So
What's that, I guess, kind of finally coming off of clearly a great win against a great fighter, expanding that lead into that second round. What's it feel like ending your season on that note at your father's tournament?
I thought I ended the season pretty well. Hopefully I can carry over to the next part of the year or next year. But I just want to try to build off of it. I feel like I ended the year pretty well. So hopefully we can have a good new year next year. So
Great. Awesome. Okay. And finally, your 2024 goals. What are they? Or have you not? Sometimes it takes time to figure that out after wrapping up a season,
Yeah. I of course, in the NASCAR overall, it's definitely a big goal. But I accomplished a lot of goals this year. Like I won my first NASCAR division as an adult, so like that's something to capitalize on. Hopefully for next year to keep that up, keep winning my division. Hopefully the win overall. So
for sure. Is there any particular tournament in particular that you want to win your first one to be at?
Probably the battle because it's at home.
That's a huge one too.
That's a huge tournament.
Yeah.
But hopefully I can win before then because there's some tournaments before.
There are tournaments before that, but it'll be awesome to see a win from battle. Okay. Well, thank you so much, Jalen, for coming on, and congratulations to you, your family, on another year of a great tournament promoting.
All right. Thank you. Yes, ma'am.
All right. Thanks for watching, guys, and tune in later tonight for the Power Chat series, a Pro Mac post show. Okay,